Hello, welcome back to the Land Rover Toolbox videos. We're talking from the LRTV studios at the moment. Right, so if you've been following us for a while, you'll know that we've changed workshops. And the old workshop was actually in my living room. Not many people noticed that because I'd blackened out the walls. Now, what we have done here is put a new floor in and actually turn this into back into a living room. So you'd never notice that it had been a workshop at all. You'll probably notice by the sound of the microphone that it is a little bit echoey at the moment, but this is only temporary until we've finished off the studio upstairs for editing and sound production. It does sound a little bit echoey, even with this little bit of a wrap round around the microphone. However, tolerate this with us for a little while until we've done the studio out. Obviously, you'll know that we don't stop production here. We're going to keep going until we've covered as much as we can or drop down dead. Also, outside, those of you who have been following us, you'll know we had a chassis leant up against the fence. No more. We did actually, it did attract some attention. So what we've done is hidden it underneath the disco for a little while. You can't see it from the road, but if you squat down and have a look, you can see very clearly there is a 110 chassis parked underneath the disco. Okay, so those of you who know anything about industrial finishes on spanners, you'll know that they're black and the black wears off eventually. We have a set here, or should I say I've decommissioned these from my toolbox because I can't remember actually the last time I actually ever used Imperial in a professional manner. So they're being retired for the home use and perhaps they might get used eventually. Industrial finish, if you didn't know, should look like this when the spanners are brand new, and it will wear off in time. However, these spanners will work out cheaper, so if you want to buy snap-on, for instance, industrial finish is the way to go. You'll know what finish it is because some of our favourite tools are already finished in that colour. This is not a new addition to the tool range that we use at home. However, this is a very good battery-powered LED lamp or flood lamp for working outside in the winter or any time that it's dark. Unfortunately, the downside to any of these battery-powered ones is the charger can break. Anyway, so here is the amount of LEDs if you care to count them. And on the back end here we have the details if you care to read them. Basically 7.4 volts at 50 Hertz. Okay, so here's a drill bit. Yeah, great, it's just a drill bit. This is a blacksmith's drill bit. It looks like it needs sharpening as well. And these are left-handed drill bits, and yes, they do actually exist. These were sent to me by Neil from 4x4x4. Basically, this is to help you remove studs, because as you drill it out, it might well turn the stud out of the hole. You'll see us use those shortly. Airline fittings, yeah, there's plenty of different types about, and this one happens to come with a kit you can buy from Lidl's or Aldi's. This, however, is a PCL fitting that I have in my right hand, and it basically has almost the same airflow, if not bigger. You can get fittings that are higher airflow, however, PCL couplings are sufficient, especially on a 3/8 Airline. Couplings you see in the video here are from an assorted pack of 12 that you can get from 4x4x4. Link will be for this below this video on YouTube. Now I exclusively use these for work and at home as well, so I can take my home tools to work and my work tools back home again. Generally what you're looking at is 1/4 inch BSP fittings into your tools, which is this, and these are a tapered thread. And of course the other end we want the PCL coupling, which is the female part of it. Okay, they basically leak after about 2 or 3 months of constant use. There's nothing you can do about it, so you always have some spare on hand in your toolbox. I'm going to be using these to fit to an Airline. This is an SIP 3/8 of an inch Airline with ends already fitted. Now when they say that you have ends fitted, it's basically just the threaded part. Always use PTFE tape to seal a BSP thread. This tape is only used for air that is going outwards. Never use it on vehicles where air is going into something, because these days it's generally banned from fitting, especially when you have electronic components controlling air. Not that you'd have that on a Land Rover. So anyway, basically what I'll do is I'll fit these, and this gives me an opportunity to actually use an Imperial spanner for a change. And I'll give you the heads up in a couple of months how long the Airline has actually lasted. Right, so I've got an MOT coming up and I need to check my plug socket. This sort of thing is an MOT failure because it's insecure and it's obvious that it's not working. However, on this Discovery, it's not a problem. I have a tester here which I use at work, and basically the electronic side of it is just a 13 pin. However, this is a good tool, especially if you're towing all the time and you want to do a quick check on your lights. The tester has a long lead and it will work on vans. It's long enough. However, with the Discovery, there's plenty left over. Plug it in and then you can sit in the cab and use the controls. Controls you only have to for test is for the lights, whereas you have another part here which will check your reverse and everything else. So basically you can see foot brake applied, brake light. Okay, so you don't have to have a trailer fitted to test them. Now this piece of kit is fairly expensive. However, what they say here that it's approved by MOT testers, or VOSA, if you remember that organisation. I've now changed the name. Okay, this is what testers will use in an MOT situation. But not all the power pins have to work. Reverse, ignition and your 12-volt continuous to your fridge, for instance, on your caravan doesn't have to be tested. Okay, so this really is quite important. Vehicles with tow bar, checking the condition and security of the trailer electrical socket. This is for the 7-pin and the 13-pin sockets. However, they will only check the electrical operations of the 13-pin socket, or the 13-pin Euro socket. And this is quite important because they won't usually plug in the tester for a 7-pin socket. However, with one of these tools, you know that your electrical socket is in good condition if you check it regularly. Right, so basically with this one you actually get an adapter which is 7-pin and your 13-pin here. Okay, this is from Sealy Tools, and once I've put this back together I'll show you the number on the box. This does actually just click into place like so. Okay, it's a handy piece of equipment. I've got this for work, but I also use it now at home because I've got a trailer socket on the Discovery. The model number is TST22 if you're interested. That's about 50 odd quid plus VAT.